a weird point to make. That's all I'm saying. It's like we're starting off this thing with talking about Trump's foreign policy, and you're like, Biden helped Europe get behind Ukraine. I'm like, yeah,
So
okay, man. Europe had its own reasons to get behind Ukraine, other
yeah,
than Biden.
I think Biden holding the lead and doing rallies in NATO, getting the NATO allies to do so, is a large thing. Like if Trump came to our NATO allies right now and said, "Hey guys, we really need y'all to do me a solid. We need you to support me in Israel." I think a lot of them would say, "Go fuck yourself. You literally just threatened one of the NATO allies, Greenland. How about you go fuck yourself?" That's what I would say. I would say that Trump mistreating them with tariffs. They would say, "No, we're good." That's what I would say.
Okay, but
That's the huge
so
difference.
okay, but that's okay. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but that wasn't the point you made. You're saying that Trump wouldn't be as good of a as a rallier
Well,
for
there's
support if
my
he
here.
needed country support.
How about
And
we
I'm like,
just how about we argue that point then? How about we argue that point and you tell me how I'm wrong? How Trump is a disaster in regards to uh foreign goddamn
conflict
yes, to foreign
policy.
conflict, yeah, foreign policy. I think Trump is an actual disaster and a belligerent fool, and he's literally he can't even get along with his own people in his own cabinet. Like I don't know how it's so hard to see.
Okay, but that's uh, that's not that's not the point I made. I didn't say that he got along with people in his cabinet. I said that he has a strong foreign policy.
I just think that
And then
I just think that it's so obvious to see, and you have to like nitpick like wording and split hairs on this bullshit. When I'm just saying generally, Trump is a fucking disaster in foreign conflicts, and I would love for you to actually say how he's not. How is he not?
I thought it was unprecedented in his first term when he did the North Korea summit. Everyone thought that was going to lead to war, if you remember.
Yeah, okay, that's it. He got a picture with Kim Jong Un. That didn't do it. What did that lead
That's
to?
that's more than any other president has ever done
Yeah,
with North Korea.
we don't want to acknowledge Kim Jong Un in front of his people because that empowers him. That gives him reasons to show his populace that maybe he's a great world leader. It probably gave him decades worth of propaganda to show his people how he's respected worldwide, and that's what we don't want.
So your position is that for countries that do say atrocious things to their people, we shouldn't acknowledge um, those countries, and we shouldn't have like foreign diplomatic ties to those countries,
No,
right?
that's a
That's like
straw
what
man. I
Trump
don't
would
think
do.
we should go say hi and take pictures with them
Okay.
and pretend like nothing's wrong with what they're doing.
Did Obama meet with Iran?
Sure. Yeah, and he got a fucking peace deal out of it. He got a
So it's
nuclear
okay
peace
to do
deal.
it. So it's okay to do it as long as we get something out of it.
Yeah, yeah, we made peace with them. Trump went there. Trump went there and he got a picture with them and he said, "Hey, if you don't stop testing nukes in the ocean, we're gonna do something real bad." And they said, "Okay," and they flipped him off and they kept going like 6 weeks later.
Right, but that's not what that's just like talk about a straw man. Like you completely contradicted your first point. Your first point
That
was
other
that
country
we
is
shouldn't meet with these leaders.
yeah,
Iran's
that
the dictatorship, and they throw gay people off of roofs before you start to defend it.
yeah, I know. I think Iran's horrible, but we were able to de-escalate their disgusting ways. We were able to de-escalate their ability to attack us on a large scale,
Mm-hmm.
and with that gave them incentive to trade with like the EU. When North Korea is so bad and so controversial, nobody trades with them, but maybe like China.
Is it your position that Iran and North Korea are on different levels of bad and controversiality?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what makes you think that Iran is not as bad as North Korea? Go.
Um,
No matter what you say, what makes you think that whatever atrocities it's done, it's the atrocities are to a level that we can still meet with them and make a deal compared to North Korea. Go ahead.
I think North Korea has held its citizens pretty much hostage, and they don't allow
You think
outside
Iran does it?
contact. No. Are you allowed to leave
You
Iran?
think it's not what you said. You said hold hostage.
Yeah. Are you
Do
allowed
you
to
think
leave
that Iran
Iran?
holds us? Are you allowed? Are you only? I don't know if certain citizens are or aren't. Can a woman leave Iran if they're an Iranian citizen?
Uh, Let me see. Yeah, you can leave. I think
Okay,
I went on that
continue.
point alone.
Do you have any idea what Iran's done in the past 50 years to its people?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and it's what you get when you mix theology with a government.
Wait, I just looked this up because I wanted to call you out on your fucking lie. Women can leave Iran, but they need the husband's permission under Article 18 of Iran's passport
So they can
law.
leave?
With their husband's permission.
Nice. What if they're not married?
Yeah. I doubt they can. I doubt they can.
All right, but everyone else can?
I don't. You're saying can everyone else can? Can men leave Iran? Is that what you're saying? If they're over the age of 18, can? Sure. Yeah. Men can leave Iran?
Iranian women may require consent from their husbands or other authorities to leave the country. And I'm not saying that's not bad, but this is drastically different.
Wait.
This is drastically different.
Let's pull up the law, because what you're saying is some fucking article. I want to see the law from Iran, because I have the law, Article 18. A married woman must have her husband's consent to obtain or renew a passport.
Good stuff. If they're caught, do their families and generational families get put in prison for labor camps if they get caught?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. We're talking about two totally different things, right? So these people can leave with their husband's permission, but without Kim Jong-un's permission to leave, you get punished, and your children and their children and their children all go to prison camp. That's a little different.
I find it crazy that you're really actually doing. I thought this was going to be something we were going to move past. You really think that North Korea, like North Korea's atrocities are so bad, we shouldn't try and de-escalate? But Iran's atrocities aren't so bad that de-escalation is within the wheelhouse.
I think that Trump didn't try anything. He didn't. What peace deal did Trump make with North Korea?
I don't think Trump made a peace
He just got a photo op. It was a photo op, bro. For you to say it was what was accomplished? Nothing.
So your problem with Trump meeting with North Korea in 2018 was that not enough came from it.
And his own advisors told him not to go, and he just magically showed up there.
Yeah, do you know why his advisors told him not to go? Because they thought it was going to escalate to fucking war.
Yeah, because Trump's a fucking idiot.
But it didn't.
Oh, thank God. It was like a coin flip, bro.
Everything. You could say the same thing about having deals with Iran. It's just as much of a coin flip to say that they're. How are they going to take the position from the United States to try and take away their ability to produce nuclear weapons?
Trump getting his picture taken with Kim Jong-un is somehow a feat for you, and you're condemning Obama for signing one of the best. He got a Nobel Peace Prize for this. No, you don't get Nobel Peace Prizes for fucking getting a picture taken with Kim Jong-un.
Oh my God, that's not what I'm saying. That was never my point. You said name something good that Trump did. I said meeting with North Korea, getting a photo.
I didn't even ask you that. I asked you, how is Trump good with foreign policy? He's not good at all.
I said a good start, and there's other things. Is he met with Kim Jong-un?
It literally got nothing accomplished. Literally.
Well, I don't think he got nothing accomplished. I think he started to broker a relationship with that country.
He's literally only friends with dictators, and he just uses their playbooks. Like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do this with your citizens? How do you get such compliance from your military generals? How do you get such compliance from all of your citizens? How do you do that?
Wasn't the reason Trump met with Kim Jong-un was because they were talking about nuclear tension and ratcheting it up, trying to get their nuclear weapons to go further and further long range? And by meeting with him, he's like, we're going to try and de-escalate the tension. Wasn't that the point of it?
Yeah, and then they didn't do it.
Open up a communication channel.
Yeah, and then Trump just tweeted at him, call the Rocket Man. What a diplomat.
That's again, I'm not making the position that Trump is or isn't a diplomat.
You're alluding to it when he said he met with him. It didn't do anything.
Okay. Let's talk about the Abraham Accords.
Perfect.
That was historic.
Perfect. All right. So I would argue that
UAE, Bahrain, Sudan, Morocco.
Yeah, and then doing the Israel Accords or the Abraham Accords without Palestine, and maybe moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Would you think that causes maybe a little bit of conflict, a little bit of maybe makes things a little bit abrasive with their neighbors in Palestine? Do you think that maybe came to a
Yeah,
head
I think it
shortly
does.
after Trump left? So
I mean,
so
I don't
not
know if
so good.
that's because. Wait a minute. Are you saying that the Abrahamic Accords contributed to the conflict between Israel and Palestine?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty strong position to take. What's your evidence that that is why that happened?
I'm not saying that's why. That adds to escalations, right? You'd have to concede that if you don't allow Palestine to come to the negotiation table when you're signing these things, you don't even acknowledge their existence. Yeah, it does add. It proves that it doesn't.
Okay, what about Israel and creating coalition building with the other Arab nations? Was that a plus? Was that a win?
Sure, but look how quickly did
Okay,
that come undone?
it's
How is
not
it going?
undone.
How's that going for us now?
The countries that I listed are still allies with Israel.
Good stuff. Good stuff. But we don't have peace there, right? We still haven't. We don't have peace there. It's just Trump's literally just whoever wants to give him money, in my opinion, whoever wants to do something nice for him monetarily is who he favors. There's nothing else to it.
Okay, but that doesn't really. Okay, gotcha. That doesn't really answer the point. It doesn't really talk about the point I made. Your point is that Trump can be bought with money. My point was he's done some good foreign policy. And you're like, well, the Abraham Accords didn't go far enough. He could have done more.
Correct.
It's like,
No,
right, but he did
the
a
way
lot.
he executed them without involving Palestine, yes, caused tensions in the Middle East.
Okay, imagine if I said this. Well, imagine if I said, well, Obama and Iran, they didn't include Israel and the rest of the entire nations in the Middle East. So he didn't
Believe
go
me,
far enough. He did good.
Israel was stoked that they did this.
You're missing my point. My point is you're not attacking what Trump did. What you're saying is Trump didn't go further.
Okay, who would be the upset party about the nuclear agreement with Iran?
Um, are you talking about with Obama?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Iran. In theory, some of the Iranians might.
No, I think they were excited to be able to trade with the EU.
You don't think so?
No, I'm sure
They
they were
were like,
excited to be able
yeah,
to.
we'll give up. We're stoked to give up our nuclear weapons for
They didn't
trading with
give up
the EU.
anything.
The point was to have like what the UN scientists come in and look at them taking apart the nuclear facilities for the purposes of making nuclear weapons.
Hmm.
But instead, they're saying we're not going to make nuclear weapons. We're going to make it for like just nuclear power in general, right?
Yep.
Right. That was the idea behind it, right?
Yep.
Do you
In
think that
exchange,
Iran?
they got to like trade oil and medicine, and their citizens and their economy got really like a lot better. That was great.
Right,
I'm sure they
but
cheered it on.
aren't we supporting? But isn't that supporting a regime that is really abusive and oppressive to its people? Wasn't that the point you just made about North Korea that we shouldn't trade with them because they're oppressive and
I
abusive
think
to its
that
people?
yeah, if we're stopping them
Uh
from having
huh.
nuclear capabilities, I think that's fine. It's a great deal.
Yeah. So your point's like, hey, North Korea. Now listen, you can do negotiations with countries as so long as their people can leave. And it's like, right, but they cut the clits off of women and they are really oppressive to their people
Yeah,
and they throw people that aren't.
I'm
They're
sure
like,
there would be a
that's fine,
max.
that's fine, that's
There'd
fine.
be a mass
Leave.
exodus. People would leave him instantly, probably, if he allowed people to leave. But if we could actually
Oh, I
go
thought
do the
they
same
could.
thing,
I thought they could. Pickles, I thought they could leave in
I'm
Iran.
sorry, not Iran,
Remember?
North Korea. I'm sure that if
Oh,
we went and got a deal with North Korea and said, hey, if you guys stop enriching uranium past, I don't know, 60%, you can trade with this country for a year or something. And as long as you promise to give your people enough food to fucking eat, maybe allow them to eat hot dogs again, since you guys just outlawed that. Maybe we'll start becoming friends. We'll test this relationship a little bit. But until then, no, we were not going to even acknowledge you on the
got it.
world stage.
What about the Serbia Kosovo thing as he was leaving right before COVID, or was it during COVID? Remember that? Remember the Serbia Kosovo thing?
Tell me about it.
He just created an agreement between the countries. They were like, there was tension between them, and then they were like, all right, good to go. How about that?
I think that I would have to look into that and see if that's something something that was positive. But
Yeah,
there's plenty of other
yeah.
things that he did, such as the Turkish-Kurdish war, pulling them out, pulling out our people from the Turkish-Kurdish conflict, and instantly after we pulled them out against all of the signatories involved, people died. People died. 11,000 people, I think, instantly died. I think 40,000 total to date have died, and nobody cared about that.
Yeah, nobody cared about that, but that's not. Look, you can't just look at things as a matter of like how many people were saved from him pulling out. Can you even quantify that number?
I'm sorry?
How many people were saved from him pulling out?
None?
Can you quantify that number?
None?
None? None? Okay, that's your answer. Tell me how. Tell me how nobody was saved. But for him pulling out, there would have been 40,000 less deaths, and that's it. That's your point.
11,000 is what I would say. And
okay,
I don't think there were like attacks going on. I don't think that soldiers were dying abroad there. I think the peace was kept for the most part, but the second our absence was seen, that they started to attack.
Okay, what about the NATO spending? Everyone thought that was a terrible idea, and it ended up that people started to say, okay, we will try to give more funding to NATO from our GDP as a percentage.
Yeah, I think that is, I think that is reckless what he said. He also said it to possibly confuse most people like you. People think that when a country pays to NATO, they're paying like into a slush fund for NATO, and that is a misinterpretation of how NATO works. So if I'm a country over there in Eastern Europe and my NATO spending doesn't meet the 2% of GDP, that doesn't mean that US comes in and pays the rest. It doesn't mean that they're not paying into a NATO slush fund or a bank account that doesn't meet the quota.
By the way,
it just means
this is your position. I never said that.
Okay, but this is what everybody.
I never thought it was a slush fund.
Okay, but this is what people usually think, that we are somehow getting ripped off, and it just means that they're not investing in their own military, which I don't care. People are now investing more than ever because Russia is doing things to sovereign countries now.
They're investing in NATO more than ever because Russia's doing things to sovereign countries like Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
What you're saying was, but for Biden, they wouldn't be a part of that.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're going to point to Trump saying like something on TV once or putting a tweet out. I'd much rather say people dying in Ukraine probably is more of a motivator than Trump tweeting. And this is also just to prime people for Trump's position to leave NATO. I think that's I've had if you watch my channel for a while, you'll see plenty of MAGA come up here and say, "Oh, well, we can leave NATO. Like we don't need them."
I'm not saying we can leave NATO. I don't think we necessarily even should leave NATO.
Do you think that if
America shouldn't be all of NATO, I think that country should support more to NATO.
I think that's incoherent. I think that if we come out and say our position is that if you don't meet your 2% GDP quota, that you allow Russia to do whatever the hell they want. That's a quote from Trump. Russia can do whatever the hell they want if they don't meet their 2%. I think that if I was Russia, I'd go, oh dang, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go take Ukraine. I'm gonna take control of the ports over there in the Red Sea or the Black Sea. I'm going to take control of the ports and fuck up their economies of all of these different countries connected to it, and see if their military spending dips below that 2%, and then I'm going to invade them too, so that U.S. doesn't come to the Article 5.
Okay, wait. Let's just take a step back really quick, because this 2% thing is getting a little... Trump pressured them to provide 2%, right, via GDP as much as close to that number as possible.
The word provide is misleading. The word provide is misleading.
Okay. Whatever word you want to use instead of provide.
If they invest 2% into their own military, not provide, but invest into their own military domestically for each of those countries, then sure.
Right. Okay, that's what I mean. I mean, yes. Yes, the 2% GDP thing isn't saying that they're going to give 2% of their forces or 2% of their GDP to NATO. I'm aware that it's 2% spent and invested on its own military. Are we in agreement on that?
Yeah, and it also has to be NATO-approved weapons, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha. That wasn't a Trump thing. Trump was saying this isn't being enforced, and America has to burden more of this bullshit than you guys.
What does that even mean? If we have to burden it, we're going to invest in our own military like fucking idiots, with or without them. It's not causing us to invest more in our military. So what does that mean?
No, it's not that it causes us to invest more in our military. I'm saying that our military had to burden more of the international defense.
Can you tell us where we've had to spend more because of that? Can you tell us where we've like been, okay, well, Germany's not hitting that 2%, so we're going to spend more. See, like this is just a grievance that means nothing to me.
It doesn't mean nothing. We have to put a tremendous amount of money into our Navy compared to other countries because our Navy polices the world. And
that doesn't, and if they spent more, would we spend more or less in our Navy?
I don't know.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's just bullshit. It's just bullshit.
Not okay. Was Trump the one that put in the 2% GDP thing for NATO?
No.
Was that Trump or no? Okay. No. So Trump was saying we need to enforce NATO, right? You want to utilize NATO, right? But you're not utilizing NATO in the way that you agreed to utilize NATO, which is you would try to get close to 2% as much as possible.
For us to be the ones crying about NATO is, I think, is stupid, right? Who's the only country?
I think it's stupid, but that's every country agrees to that a part of NATO.
Who's the only country to ever have invoked Article 5?
I don't know.
It was us.
Okay.
We're the only ones who asked for everybody to help us, ever.
What? Are you talking about 9/11?
Yep.
Okay, what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Because we're sitting here going, you guys aren't doing your fair share, when they're the only ones who have come to help us, ever, historically, in the history of NATO.
Okay, just because we're the only ones to invoke Article 5 in the history of NATO doesn't mean that that's all NATO is. NATO is used for a plethora of other things.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your point with the Article 5?
I'm saying the most important thing about NATO, we were the only person to take advantage of the existence of NATO, and then we're also going to be like, listen, you guys better step up. We're the only ones historically asked for help.
That doesn't, just because we're the only ones that have asked for help, NATO has been used for a plethora of other things, dude.
Okay, like what?
So, Bosnia, 90s, Bosnia. I think that was the first time it was used, was in Bosnia. Kosovo, too, when we were just talking about when Trump was trying to do the Kosovo deconfliction.
Okay.
Didn't they do it in Libya, too? Wasn't that a huge thing in 2011? It was
I don't
to
know.
enforce the no-fly zone.
Like,
yeah, I know you don't fucking know, man.
Yeah,
I know.
I think you're just pointing to random things that have nothing to do with the fact that
that's not random things. Those are things that NATO did. That you're like, name other things NATO did.
Like, yeah, maybe a few of us came together and said, hey, let's do some stuff. But that doesn't mean that we aren't the ones who've mostly benefited from NATO. We are the ones who mostly benefited.
I didn't say we weren't the ones that mostly benefited.
That's the point that I'm making. That's the point I'm making.
Okay, but that you made that point as a counterpoint to my thing, which is that Trump got the countries to be closer to the 2% GDP spending that they agreed to be a part of NATO. You see, that was the point, right? Just because the United States is the only one that's invoked Article 5, it's like NATO can still be used as a vessel to do great things for the world, and it has.
And do they need to have that 2% to do these things? No.
Whether they need it or not is irrelevant. They agreed to it.
It is irrelevant. It is relevant. Yes, when people,
why did they agree to it?
When your foreign policy, when you tell the world, first of all, that you're so fucking dumb that you think NATO has to pay their fair share in order to be protected, that is obviously not making more peace worldwide. That is showing Putin, hey, if you want to be able to strike without consequence, this is what you got to do, and that's what I'm telling you.
So you're like, it's irrelevant that countries should provide some of their own GDP to their own militaries.
No, I think that it's a delicate matter, and you don't say this bullshit on stage in a way that can be interpreted by foreign adversaries to show how fucking incompetent you are.
Okay, but that's not. Is it incompetent if he got them to agree to try and enforce it better?
He didn't get anyone to agree.
Yeah, I did.
Who?
I don't know if he got it on paper,
Yeah, that's
but
what I thought.
other countries said they'd absolutely match 2% GDP,
Yeah, they all did on their way in.
but they didn't do it.
Yeah, and can you prove that the fact that they are now is because of Trump saying that with a microphone, or can you prove that it was maybe not because Russia is invading Ukraine?
Well, wait a minute. The 2% thing has come up multiple times prior to Trump and post Trump. All right.
Yeah.
So what Trump did was he said, "Hey, I'm going to reduce the commitment to NATO if the allies don't spend more."
Yeah, that would make them
Right?
weaker. They'd make us all weaker on the world stage, right?
Yeah, that would. But if the countries didn't do it or didn't agree to try and enforce it, it would make us weaker on the world stage, right? But
Not really.
Would it though?
No.
But would it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, right. Because it's like, well, we're not going to agree. It's like, well, you really weren't doing it anyways, right? So do you think it's a good thing that Trump tried to enforce the agreement they agreed to?
I don't think it's a good thing he did it that way. No.
Okay. What way would you have preferred him to do it?
Peacefully, gracefully, behind closed doors. Say, hey, if you don't do this, maybe we're going to limit the amount of tanks we sell you, or something like that. But not on the world stage to show our adversaries that we're infighting.
Okay, but that's not right. But so you're supportive of the foreign policy.
All right, Sherry Sherry with an I for the kick. Sherry with an I. Guys, I'm going to open the phone line back up. Actually, I have one person on TikTok that wants to talk, so we'll do that. Sherry, we love you, Sherry.
Hey, Pickles.
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, usually. I did vote for Trump. I've been on your live a few times, and we've debated, and it's usually been in support of Trump.
Mhm.
This specifically, and I'm not going to take a lot of your time, so you can get guests that are disagreeing with you on things. In this specific instance, with what we've done with Iran, I said that I would be just as loud in my criticisms as I would be in my praises. I completely disagree. As a conservative who's been a conservative my whole life, who's always voted Republican, I don't agree with what we've done whatsoever. If I've only seen it on social media about the attacks that we've just placed. I don't know what words can be used on TikTok. So
yeah.
What he posted about, that's a terrible plan. It's a terrible idea from the start. We should not be involved in it whatsoever. I think that doing it right before July 4th is poking a bear. Now, would we dog walk Iran? Absolutely. Our military, I think, would be able to dog walk them, no problem.
Sure.
Should we? No. We should not be involved in
Also,
that. We should not be risking American
lives.
They
have friends, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, it's a bad plan, and all it shows is that even when sadly it shows for the Christians that say we're always supposed to support Israel, the Bible does not say we're always supposed to support Israel's government. It says the people of Israel. So if you're a Christian that's saying that, sadly, that's not what the Bible says. Don't use that as your argument. Don't involve Americans in stuff that we should not be involved in. We've got plenty of other issues to deal with. This should not be one of them. So I've always said that I would be just as loud about my criticisms as I would be about my support. And I've gotten on here and supported him before. So I thought it was only fair that I come on here, put my money where my mouth is, say that I completely disagree with this. If this ends up being his legacy, then I'm going to be very disappointed in my vote.
I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you. Thanks for coming up and saying that, dude.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me on. Thank you for all the education that I've gotten watching your channel. I just resubscribed again because I realized that I forgot to resubscribe. But
dude,
hey, man, I'm going to let you go talk to people that disagree with you. But on this one, I'm very much, I'm so shocked that I guess it's not fair to say that I'm so shocked. The government war hawking to make money is not something that's very surprising. But I'm just very disappointed.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for coming up and saying that.
All right. Have a good one, man.
You too.
Yep.
What's going on, dude?
What up, Pickles? Trump supporter here. But just wanted to get on here and say I totally disagree with what just happened. This isn't what I voted for. This isn't. This just confirms that he's putting Israel first. He's not putting the American people at first. I feel like he's opened up a hornet's nest here with this. I just feel like with the cells that are here, I just think it's not a good look for him. And like I said, this isn't what I voted for, and I disagree, man. And I just wanted to get on here and just let you
love,
guys
dude.
know.
Much like I know you're from my old days too, so it's
Yeah,
cool
I'm
seeing
from
some of y'all.
Houston, so I am local, man. But yeah, man, I felt like I needed to get on here and just and say that because this isn't what I voted for. You know what I mean? And I'm totally in awe with all this stuff. So I just wanted to get on here and say that, man. I'm just dumbfounded. You know what I mean? So you have a good night, man.
You too, bub.
Hello.
Hello, are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I am.
All right. What do you like about
Man,
Trump?
for a long time. Remember JG?
What'd you say?
I said, do you remember a guy named JG?
Oh God, JG. This is JG.
Yeah, what's up? This is a burner account.
What's going on,
How you
JG?
been?
Been
How
all
you
right.
been? I haven't seen you live.
I've been live, bro. I've been here. Been here.
I haven't seen you.
Slapping
I haven't
wieners.
seen you. Hey, that's right. That's always great. All right. How do you feel about the whole incident?
Not loving it, man. Not loving it. How do you feel?
Well, I mean, in general, I mean, I'm not for it. I'm not for Israel, but I don't think it's about warheads whatsoever. I don't think it's about nukes. I think it's about trade routes, to be honest with you. I think that's going to be a little bit more of what we're trying to fight for, and I'm not for that. Um, I'm not for the United States imposing, its power, telling a country what they can and can't have within, but I do understand if they are coming from a trade route perspective, obviously. China and Iran, we know about their trade routes that they have. The little train tracks, I don't know if you heard about them.
No, tell me about it.
So instead of utilizing the United States territory that we have there, they have the train track that cut it in half the time to bring the oil over. So
Oh
it kind
yeah,
of cuts the United States out of trade. That's what I think more so their focal point is as far as why they're
Afghanistan, Tajikistan,
yeah,
Kyrgyzstan
yeah.
railway. Okay, wow.
So that's what I think it's more so about, especially with China's obviously going to be, upset because their oil supplier. But yeah, that's what I think it's involving. And to be honest, I don't think it has anything to do with uranium or nukes. But I'm not for it. I don't want the United States to go to war for absolutely no reason. And I can't stand these uh, wannabe evangelicals that are backing Israel with no reason. Israel's just as bad as Iran. I think we should just let them both go at it and see who can get, more damage done.
Eek. I don't know, man.
That'd be the
I don't
first
know.
time you ever agree with me, I think.
Probably. It's pretty. I don't. This can't be. It can't be that controversial, bro. It's not.
What?
Being against the striking Iran, it's not. I just don't feel it's controversial.
I mean, some people think that, listen, some people aren't even quoting the Bible right. They think Israel's the land, it's the people, for one. But for two, we're not set to do whatever. I'm tired of Bibi Netanyahu having every single politician by the throat, every single one. And I mean, you could see even yesterday, like Tulsi Gabbard, she sold out. You could tell. I mean, she went from
Dude, we've been telling y'all this forever. Gabbard's a fucking hot mess.
no, I
Oh,
mean she just sold
bro,
out though. It's like APAC
what?
check just hit.
Come on, no.
No, I mean come on. I mean listen,
I don't think it's I think it's Russia.
it's APAC. No, it's APAC for sure. Why would Russia want them to attack Iran? Russia funds Iran.
No, Gabbard says there were not any sort of there was not enough enriched uranium.
Oh, you didn't see her tweet yesterday then.
Oh, what'd she say?
She was like, "Oh yeah, they are coming up to capacity. It's just a matter of if they want to assemble a warhead or not." That was a tweet yesterday from her. It was under the DNI Gabbard account.
It sounds like
But
she
she
got
sold out to
scolded by
APEC.
Trump for disagreeing with him.
Well,
God, dude.
I mean, Trump. Listen, I think it's a trade route thing. Not that I'm backing it, but
How are
I
they not
think
on the same
that
page? Like, how are they not aligned on talking points before dropping bombs? It's just insane, dude.
I mean,
Oh
to
my
be
God.
clear, I think that they were just trying to find a way to like obfuscate and create like people to agree with what they were doing. So like they were just like saying whatever to see if the mass majority of people were accepting of them bombing Iran. Not that I think it's okay. Like that's like people being okay with spreading democracy. Like if a country doesn't want to impose it or implement it within their, you know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna utilize it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, they bear no threat to us. Let's be clear.
But their friends
But
do.
not really. I don't think so
China,
at all. You think China bears a threat to us? China's 25
economically,
years. Economically, no. I think that economically they need us just as much as we believe to have need them. You have to
they
understand that
they
like
could they
our
could also fund like Iran's allies. They would their allies with Iran's allies. They would obviously, if they wanted to get nasty, they would do what we're doing to Ukraine. They would fund them and say, "Here you go, fuck them up. Do what you got to do."
I think you're overhyping China. Let's be clear.
They're the
And
second
that's it.
richest country in the world.
Okay, where do they get their money from?
13% of it they get from us. That's it.
That's a lot of money. I reckon like 13% is not a lot. 13% of their total GDP, if it's accounted for the United States, is us.
Well,
You have to
they get a
understand,
lot
like
of their
if it were
oil, just like you said. They get a lot of their oil from the Middle East.
exactly, so if the United States were to, if the aspect in which I'm portraying to be true, or I believe to be true, um, if I'm correct, then obviously, the United States is going to be in a more set position to make sure that China doesn't overthrow economically.
Yeah, I just think that it's a huge coup to say they're not going to do some same thing with Russia. Russia is also going to
Oh,
be backing Iran.
no,
I mean, no,
fundamentally, Russia agree more with Western civilization than they do with Iran.
bro, they fund Iran.
What do they fund Iran for, though? Do you know?
Don't they fund their T groups?
So do we, but that's your point.
Come on,
What do you mean? I'm having a
come
genuine. We're not
on.
even arguing. I'm having a genuine conversation with you. This isn't like
You
a
would
whole
have to
gotcha.
substantiate how we're funding. I mean, besides maybe Trump, I don't know. You'd have to substantiate how we're funding Hezbollah and Hamas.
You don't think the United States has ever funded Iran? Look at 1956. Look at who overthrew their
Well, you're
leader.
reaching 75 years in the past.
This isn't a reach. This is like historical. Like we're the reason why
Come
who's
on,
in power there
come on,
became
bro.
in power. In 1956, it was actually 1944, we overthrew the last regime because they were at odds. 1956, we then installed who into power? Like,
Yeah, but
this
in
is like,
1979, Iran changed drastically
yeah, because of why?
because their new leader,
But who installed the leader?
not
This is,
us.
what?
We didn't
Are you joking?
install their. We didn't install their. Did we install their fucking crazy theocratic leader? They have
Oh
now.
my
They've been in
gosh.
power since for 40 years now. You think
There's
we
only
did
been
that?
two of them. Yeah, yes. What? I got you. I'll send you some stuff if you want. Look at the involvement. Like, what are we talking about?
The United States did not install Iran's current leader, the current Supreme
Yes,
Court
we did.
leader.
You know what they were beforehand?
You think we would install a dictator rather than pro democracy leader?
We
That's
helped
usually what we
overthrow.
do. Is when we coup somebody, we install somebody who's more democratically elected
Yeah, so the
or more
Shah
Western
came before.
values.
You know who the Shah is, right?
Yeah.
and then half the country was for the Shah, half was against the Shah,
Mm-hmm.
which led to the rebellion. That was all the United States that installed the Shah, and
Yeah,
then they
we
were
didn't do that.
overthrown.
I don't
Then
see anything even conspiring that we did this in 1979.
no. That's the difference of the Shah and not the Shah. We implemented the Shah. It was a rebellion against.
The Shah was before the
Now
1979. Yeah,
it was the
you're saying we
1940s.
installed before 1979.
Yeah, in the
And what
40s.
was and then they were overthrown by the
Yeah,
population?
the regime. The
Yeah.
regime. No, so there's two regimes. So like it wasn't that the majority of the population was for it. There was just two different regimes and one overthrew the other. Kind of like in a sense of like thinking about like Cuba. Like Cuba, they got taken over by communism. The regime overthrew it, not
So
that the people were for it.
you admit that we helped implement the Shah. We did not install the revolution after.
Yeah, no, the revolution was done as a rebellion.
Okay. Well then
Yeah.
I rest my case. The
What do you
shit show
mean?
that they are now, we did not do that to them.
We kind of did, but like
You're talking about like butterfly
not.
effect, maybe,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I
like,
mean,
come on.
like you have to understand why they hate the United States. Like, let's be clear. I'd hate the United States as well if I was them.
I mean, because they're radical religious people.
Yeah, jihadists, but like not even that. Like, look at Afghanistan. George Bush. I mean, I'm gonna
Okay, well,
find them WMDs. I'm gonna find them
yeah,
WMDs.
hey, that sounds familiar, bro.
Yeah, of course. Listen, we're on the same page here. Like, you're acting like this is like one
Uh,
side or the other. Like, this is all aspects, all facets of our government right now, whether it's blue, red, green, purple, whatever color you want to call it.
to
All
saying
of
it's
them are on board with
this is
this.
come
Like,
on, yeah, and but you admit it's not all the same, and that I think if Kamala was in office, we wouldn't be
oh
this
my gosh.
belligerent. We wouldn't be. She would have a more steady hand. We would be more about
Listen,
diplomacy.
we
We
would.
wouldn't be enabling Israel's
No,
insane actions. We would not be
she was
doing
for
this.
Israel. She was for Israel. She was backing of it. Same way with Joe Biden.
She didn't even show up when Bibi Netanyahu came to Congress, bro.
Are you okay?
She
You
had
don't.
to she had to moderately support them to because in the middle of an election year, yes, you have to appeal to the centrist. You have to appeal to the 50 something% of Christians in the United States. Yes. But
So then
that's
why
it.
would she get? Why would she have gotten funded by APAC?
25 whole million dollars. Ooh.
Hey, listen, I'm making a joke now. Do you got 25 million?
Okay, but in the grand scheme of things, her campaign was billion
Come
dollars.
on,
Do
you
you
gotta
think they're
laugh
going to tell
sometimes.
her exactly what to do all the time with 25 million
You think that's all the money
dollars?
that she received? The
She
same way
got way more.
with Donald Trump. Listen, the same way with Donald Trump. He was funded by APAC too. I'm not for it.
Yeah, I know. But listen, when it goes towards your campaign, that's one thing. But to take planes from other countries and just blatantly have like a meme coin where they can dump
Oh, that was a
anonymously
weird
just dump
pivot.
money into it.
Pickles, come on, you're getting liberal on me again. Liberal. Hey, Pickles. I like the conversation we're having. Don't pivot off in no man's land. We're having a genuine conversation about some geopolitics. Like this is a good conversation that can go somewhere. Instead, you're just going on a tangent about $400 million jet. I don't care about that. You shouldn't care about that either.
Oh my god.
What? Yeah, we got bigger fucking fish. We got bigger things to worry about instead of you being meme coin and playing. What?
I would like to think that one party is less corrupt than the other, and for you guys to start
No.
excusing $400 million planes is a new step. It's definitely stepping up into new territory, bro.
What do you mean? Both sides are corrupt. I'm not a Republican.
Come on.
Do you think I'm a Republican?
If you support Trump, you support Trump, and I condemn that.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine that you're allowed to have your own personal views. That's okay. But I'm not a
Do you
Republican. Let's
still
be clear.
support Trump?
I mean, that's the president of the United States.
That's weak. That's weak.
What do you mean that's weak? Like, regardless, I supported Joe Biden when he was in office because that's the
No,
president of the United States.
come on, shut up.
Don't say no. Don't say no. I didn't. I never once prayed for the downfall. And once I heard about the stage 4 cancer, I was one of the only people that you'd see on this app talking about. Like it's weird for people to be like, I told you he's on the decline. No, I mean at the end of the day, I don't want anybody to being alive.
KG, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
What? You're wild. Listen, you're just not used to having conversation that goes somewhere instead of
You're a
arguing back
Fairweather
and forth.
fan. That's what it feels like. You're a Fairweather fan.
Why do you believe that?
Because you used to come up and just wanted to slam dunk on these. You wanted to come up here and tell me what was going on with fiscal policy, with economic policy, and now you're like, both sides.
Yeah, that's because you'd feed into it, you'd get upset, but you're having a genuine conversation. I can sit here and have a conversation with you. I don't have anything against you. And you can't even back then, I never had anything against you, to tell you that. All right.
You and I have always been chill, but I'm chill with everybody. I'm chill with most people.
Listen, I say something.
We're losing you.
Oh, wait.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. People just like to argue, go back and forth, and slam dunk, and try to get a gotcha. And this isn't about a gotcha. This is about, okay, well, at the end of the day, you sitting here saying you're full Kamala. Cool story, bro. I'm glad she lost, but let's kind of
Listen,
progress.
we've got a Trump speech to watch here live in about 20 minutes. You're gonna be hanging out?
Yeah, I'll be chilling.
All right.
If you need to drop me too, because you got other people. I know this is your
Yeah, this is a little
source
too
of.
friendly for most people's taste.
All right. Well, if you got Discord or anything, send it to me. We'll hop and have a conversation.
All right, girl. My Discord's in my link tree.
Did you just call me girl? What the hell?
Hit me up.
All right, bro. Have a good one. You
All
can
right.
drop me for the algorithm.
All right, peace. Yellow.
What's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
I am, but that's not what I'm here to debate about.
Okay, what are you here to debate?
Are you a golf fan?
Golf?
Golf.
No.
Ah, come on. Man, that was my only debate topic I had.
Sorry, bro.
It was over the PGA Open with Sam Burns and his opportunity to being able to get a relief on where he was sitting on his shot. I was going to see if you had an opinion on that, but nope, we're all good then.
All right. Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, no golf for me.
No, we're all good. I was more hoping for a fun opinion from you, so you don't have to worry about politics completely.
I appreciate you. But yeah, well, I gotta get some more guests in here, Tyler. I hope you have a good day.
Oh yeah, I'm trying.
All right, bro. Peace out.
World's blown up about golf.
Yellow.
Hello, how's it going?
Going good. How are you?
Great. Hey, I just wanted to touch on the last guest, not the golf guy, but the guy prior. So all this Israel stuff is on part of Project 2025. So I don't know if everyone else is following it. It's like on page 94. So if anyone's interested, they can go check it out. It's all right there. That's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate you. I will look at that
No.
right now.
Yeah, and Project 2025 has actually been going on for about 50 years. The extreme right people have been trying to push it on multiple presidents. So I've like really researched into it, and I'm just like really, really shocked. But Trump took it hook, line, sinker. So lucky for us.
Love it.
All right, thanks, Pickles. You're the best.
You're the best. Thank you. I'm gonna look
Okay,
at
bye.
it right now. All right. This is not that. Project 2025. Project for Leadership. Let's check it out. Page 94. Mandate for leadership, I mean. Where's the document? So disgusting. Oh, God. All right, let's do this. Page 94. The thing that Trump said he had no idea. I don't even want to read it. I have no idea what it is. Some good ideas, some bad. '95, '96. Hello?
It's down where, hey, it's down where it was on 94 where it said that we will fully support Israel. I think it's like, is it 4? Yeah, right in there.
Sustained support for
That we will,
Israel, even as America empowers Gulf partners to take responsibility for their own coastal, air, and missile defenses, both individually and working collectively.
yeah, because what I'm hearing through the grapevine is that they're trying to usher in the second coming, and so they were pushing for a war to go to war with Israel.
Woof.
So it could be, I mean, it does track for what their thinking is, but those are like little tidbits I have found. And we all know that a lot of his people are, all the people who've written this are in the White House now. So
Well, I appreciate you for pointing that out.
hey, you know, it's what I do. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Can I read it again, please? Let me make this a little bigger. It just says sustained support for Israel, even as America empowers Gulf partners to take responsibility for their own coastal, air, and missile defenses, both individually and working collectively. Sustained support for Israel. I mean, ugh. Did Israel respond? I mean, did Iran threatens more devastating response to Israeli attacks. We've got him speaking about 15 minutes, right? Because it was 10 p.m. Eastern. So in about 13 minutes. China's response to Iran conflict more concerning if West loses versus retribution for defeating its Tehran ally.
Okay, so let's continue on.
Shut up. China's clout in the Middle East may not be as strong as Beijing thinks, as Iran's terror sanctioning regime, one of the CCP's closer allies, faces its potential end. Ooh my god. Trash upload, chat. Trash upload. Chat, 1 tap equals 1 prayer for my upload speeds. This is not good. I thought Hooters closed. It could have. Yikes. Yeah, Trump is going to do his speech in about 10 minutes, y'all. We will... You have a gig up and down. Goddamn, dude. Netanyahu just commented. Trump's decision will change history. First comes power, then comes peace. Why would he say anything close to what Mustache Man would say? Why would he say that, dude? No magazine. I know. We haven't gotten too many debates today, y'all. Not too many people want to come up and debate today. I wonder why. Yeah. 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 Slow night. That's all right. It's the mental bandwidth to talk about something else when we just struck a foreign nation. I get that. He is wildly indefensible. I agree. Hector, what's up, Bubba? Trish, good to see you. What up, Fee? We have the best community. That's pretty... Hello, Gracie. People still defend him, though. War is the logic in a defensive attack. I'm waiting for Dune. I haven't played... Guys, I've been playing The Last of Us. It's so good. I want to come up, but I just started a new account. I need some followers to get on live. Yeah, you need to... your account needs to be a few days old. Pickles, you're too good at debating. Everyone's afraid to debate you. I'll take that. What's a good documentary? Watch Bad Faith. No, you have the flu, Fee? Top Dems on intelligence committees were not briefed before strikes, but Republicans were. Yikes. Yikes. Just put in 15 hours of Dune, Jaime. Yeah, I'll show the press conference as soon as it comes up. We got World War III before GTA 6.